So what's it like being a CEO now and having the pod as like a platform?
That's actually a great question, because for me, I'm like not doing this podcast to like build a media thing. I just thought it'd be interesting. We started doing it during COVID, and I just kind of kept doing it. I don't know why I kept doing it, to be honest.
I tried to quit.
I tried to quit like every week. I wanted to quit, and I
oh my god,
still contemplated
we had so
a lot.
much tension the first 2 years, and now
until we got to sign an LLC agreement. Now it's all smooth sailing. The votes are what mattered. It was a big.
Well, actually, but I think it's like a real important evolution. You know, we had this thing going ad hoc, and I was trying to keep it together. And you know, the one thing I learned in media from Engadget, I asked Peter Rojas, who I'd stolen from Gizmodo, Nick Denton's company, to come to Engadget. I said, "Tell me the secret of why Gizmodo, Gawker, and now Engadget are doing so well." And he said, "Oh, the secret to blogging is very simple. Show up every day."
It's actually a great point. And then, I mean, Jason did keep us showing up, and then it became a thing. And then it's like, okay, we should probably do something legit to make this into a business or make it into something structural that stays alive. So we did. But to answer your question, I go to meet with farmers a lot and business executives in the agriculture industry. And I can't tell you how often I run into someone who's like, "I watch your podcast. I'm a fan." That is...
Like Farmer Joe.
Like the other day I was in a meeting, I won't reveal too much, but like, I mean, you guys won't have any idea, but like some big company that does farming, who you would have never heard of, no one in this room has ever heard of. And then I'm in the hallway after we do this big pitch, and the guy pulls me aside, he's like, gives me a fist bump. He's like, "Love the pod." Oh. I'm like...
It is
like,
weird.
It is weird. And then I'm like in like another state at a meeting, and the COO comes out. He's like, "Dude, I'm a big fan of the pod." And so it helps with building trust. You've earned a reputation. And so then when I go into meetings, people know me because of this pod.
Right.
And that reduces friction. I don't have to go sell myself in a meeting.
Right.
I'm already sold, and it makes business easier. And so for me, the pod isn't about making money on the pod as much as it is like helping me in my everyday work, which is where I spend pretty much all my time, except for a couple hours a week here. To contextualize that in the conversation we're going to have today, you create an audience with your content. What do you do with that audience? What are you doing this for? You can sell ads and make money against that audience. You can get sponsors that you speak to, quality products that you endorse, and you can make more money, and you can either get paid cash or get some equity. You can build your own product and actually own it, and then own all the equity and participate meaningfully in the upside as you sell your audience your product. Or in other cases, you're building credibility. You're building, which is what a lot of venture capitalists did after our show, I think, kind of became big. They realized that they have this opportunity to build credibility with entrepreneurs. So when an entrepreneur shows up, they're like, "Oh, I want to work with you because I've seen you on your podcast." Or investors show up, "I want to invest with you because I've seen your comments on your podcast." So I think there's a lot of ways to think about the value of this, but building an audience, building credibility is really beneficial, and it can work out in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and you take it seriously. It's an investment in time for you. Today we've recorded a great episode. We had our first comedian on, Andrew Schultz, and that'll come out tomorrow. He was hilarious. But you had an emotional moment today on the show. We were talking about entrepreneurship and your journey. Mm-hmm. And I got to give you a lot of credit. You're not like a professional broadcaster or whatever, but you prepare and you put it all out there. And I'm very proud of the work you've done and how you've evolved as a broadcaster and as somebody on the pod. I'm very, very proud of how much you've started to put out there of yourself. And it's not easy to do because you're an introverted, personal person. I mean,
pretty extroverted. I'm like,
on the MDMA.
I'm ready to go party. I don't know what you're talking about. You're the one who locks yourself up in the room afterwards.
Maybe in the 90s when you were going to raves and you had a little of the Molly, the MDMA, you were different. But I'm saying like now you're a little bit, But
back in the day.
Back in the day, it's hilarious because he's such a perfectionist. And every time the pod comes out, Chamath and I just wait 60 minutes after the pod. That sucked, right, producer Nick? It sucked, right? We should delete it, cancel it. There's the worst episode ever. And then the stats come out. Oh, we broke another record. Oh, it's number 8 in the world. Oh, okay.
Look, the reality is we can always do better.
I mean, I am such an optimist, as some of my friends who are here know. Like, that was fucking great. It was a train wreck, but for me, it was a great train wreck. And just so y'all know, we couldn't do it without the audience, and the love that you give us is such an amazing motivation. One of the most beautiful things for me and my motivation on the pod is really to help give an example of how you can really have a hardcore discussion, learn from each other, appreciate each other. And I hope that you all take that back to your poker games, dinners, etc. Families. You know, it's a very divided country right now. There's a lot of important issues. Friendship is worth investing in. I just want to give you all that as like a note. Invest in your friends, invest in those hard conversations. Your life will become so rich because of it. And have a couple of laughs. Don't take it all so seriously.
So it's hard to create something now that I know what works, now that I know what people will see.
If that's the objective, audience growth.
But it's a true artist does not necessarily care if someone watches their work.
If one person loves my work, that's all that matters. Like,
But
to some people.
But a true artist doesn't always know actually what they could do to get people to watch their work. And so we immediately know what would. And so you find for a lot of creators, they're on two ends of the spectrum. They're either an artist or they're a distributor. But to be an impactful creator, you kind of actually need to lean more towards distributor. You need to be like that programming executive that's like, okay, well, Spider-Man worked, let's do it again.
Correct.
Let's do it again, let's do it again, let's do it again.